My audio is included.
Okay, so I think we're good to go then.
Oh, what happened? Oh, damn, can you invite me again? I got kicked.
Oh, that's weird.
Alright, I'm coming back in.
Hi. Don't worry, I'm not contagious.
Okay.
Alright. Alright, I'm gonna
Okay,
start.
okay.
I'm gonna start the recording.
Sounds good.
2. Alright, we're live.
Alrighty. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the When Gaming Podcast, where, when we play games, we talk games. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Fitzgerald, and with me, as always, is Matt Vieira.
How's it going?
Going well, man. It's glad to be playing, glad to be talking, glad to be chatting. So
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. So do you want to kind of talk about what we're playing tonight, since this is your it's kind of your baby game. So
Yeah, so tonight we're playing State of Decay 2. This game came out in 2018, towards I believe like the beginning of the summer. But this is a Microsoft Studios game. It originally caught my interest because I'm just a big fan, and I in first in my work recommended it, and they were like excited for it to come out. It came out, I got it right away. I did like right away, kind of fell in love with it. It's just like it had a lot of quirks to begin with, but since added a ton to the game and made it better, and it plays really well for the most part. So I just like really enjoy it. Like a really classic survival type game. So that's what we're playing. It happens to be on Games Pass, which helps you out. I already owned it, but free on Game Pass, which is just like fantastic for this caliber of a game to be free for anybody that pays the $9 a month. That's awesome. So here we are.
exactly, and Game Pass it's incredible, and the array of games possible is always fun. And like you said, you've played this game,
Yeah.
and because of that, I played it a lot, so I knew what I would be doing when we came and started playing today. And I was like, I even texted you and I said, if I would have found this game earlier, I would have probably sunk so much into it. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's very zombie killing in the game, very satisfying. I compare it to like Dead Rising. I've only played a little bit of Dead Rising, but in that satisfying zombies. In this game, it's just as satisfying to eat. It's almost like more satisfying to melee weapon, go at him with a gun. You want to use guns in this game because of the noise it makes. They do the up close mechanics of fighting.
No, I would agree, and it gets kind of especially when you get close and you can do those stealth kills and you can finish all guys. It's pretty but it's exciting. Playing this to people, really fun. With the two of us, because I think you can have 5 people playing together, or is it 4?
It's just 4, I believe. Is the total that you can party.
Okay, but still, even that, it's just kind of the whole like. I don't know. Did you ever play it 2 as well?
I have never played Left 4 Dead. No, I've never played. It's that same type of thing though. Good for playing with friends.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 2 it's a great from friends. Nothing can how good this is. This game blows that water in just so
that's awesome.
aspects. Yeah. But yeah, it's still entertaining, in that zombie killing. You can never go wrong with a little bit of zombie killing. So
this is very interesting. I'm looking at the map, have us right now, different. Is this your start, or did you?
No, this is my starting location.
Oh, that's very interesting because I started in a different location. This is this is different. Everybody started in the same spot, but apparently not. That's pretty cool.
Well, so when I started
it's
out,
not
I played a little bit, like I said, and one of the very first after tutorial is one of two, like to build your camp, and I picked the farm. Like you could either pick the hills, the mountains, farm, or something else, and I don't remember what the third one was. And I picked the farm, because I was like, this sounds like a good place to build a zombie base. You know, in the farm, there's gonna be a lot of supplies, so maybe that's maybe that's a little different. I don't know. But yeah, so I say we kind of just let's just things. Oop, wait. There you go. Head off. We're good.
Yeah, let's just
let's just mark stuff on the map, and then we can go just do it, and then we can just kind of get on with the show.
All right, sounds. Right.
So,
Besides this game right here, besides State of Decay 2, what have you been playing?
So I went back and I played like 2-3 games of Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, the League play. This time I actually got some people that knew what they were doing for the most part, and I won a few games, so that was exciting, but I didn't play it a lot. I went and I played some indie games as well, which is what I actually spent most of my time. I spent a good amount of time playing Celeste. I was extremely close to finishing it, and I guess never knew how close I was, and so I put a lot of time into that. I think I put like 2.5 hours this week into that game. And I finally beat it. So I beat Celeste. I got to the whole end credit thing, and it was awesome. That game was so much fun, and I did it without assist mode. I beat the whole thing without assist mode. Although at the very end, I wanted to break my controller. Yeah, there was a very frustrating last level, but it was fun.
I am
enjoyed
so
it.
impressed. I'm so impressed you were able to beat that game without assist. I gotta be honest. Like I wanted to do it really, really bad, but it got to a point where I was like, I think it was like the last 2 levels. I was just like, if I want to be done with this game, and I want to see what is, what the end is and how it all wraps up. So I just was like, I can't do it. I had to just like I put on the minimal, like most assist. I think I added an extra boost in the air or something like that. Something very simple.
Yep.
So I didn't really I didn't want to like make it OP. Like I looked at the assist mode, you can make it so you can't die. You can just fall into the areas where you get hurt and you just won't die. It's like that's not fun.
Really?
But I had to put on a little bit because I couldn't do it. But I am supremely impressed that you were able to finish that game without any assist. It's awesome.
It was. I think I died a lot. I think it tells you how many times you die, and the fun part about that whole game is they understand that you're gonna die, and they understand you're gonna die a lot. And like even the load screens are like, oh no, hey, don't worry about it. Like just keep trying. And it's like super supportive of you dying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got more of that.
So that's always fun. And then I played another indie game that's on Game Pass, which is What Remains of Edith Finch, and they just added this game, and a bunch of people on Twitter saying that it's like one of their favorite indie games and that it's fun and you should play it, especially now that it's on Game Pass. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to get into indie games, might as well give it a shot. And I looked it up, and it's a 2-hour game-ish, like a 2 to 3 hour game. So I'm like, okay, it's a pretty easy one to play. And I played about an hour of it, and the whole thing is that you're living, it's all first person, and you're living through Edith Finch and going back to the house that you grew up in, and then all just the weird stuff that happened to your family. Like it's strange. But it was good. Like so far, like I said, I'm an hour in, and the art style in that game, masterpiece. Like it is gorgeous. It's awesome. There's just so much. Like every character that you go, because you actually go through and you see how each part of her family member has died throughout history from the first person, so it's really ominous and creepy. but just
Oh,
every single time it's a slightly different art style, and it's just gorgeous.
that's really cool. I've heard so much about that game. I just never, and I've seen it. I've seen the art style. You're right. It is gorgeous. I've just never played it, and it's on Games Pass, right? It's on Game Pass.
Yep. Yeah, it's on Game
Yeah,
Pass.
so-
That's the easy part about it. It's like, oh, it's Game Pass. That's
Yeah.
okay. Free game. Why? I'm already paying the, right now $1. Why might as well play as many games as I can out of it.
Right.
And so,
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's what I played this week. So what about you?
Very, very cool.
I-
So my hand is officially, ready to go. So I got my stitches out, bandages off. I'm playing with my full power right now. So I've been playing Halo Master Chief Collection since we played. I kind of sparked interest back in playing, and one of the reasons is because my friends and I, like once or twice a year, we do a big LAN tournament, and it's not really a competitive tournament. It's really just like 10 or 12 of my friends get together and we hook up some Xboxes, whether it be the original Xbox or in this case, we did LAN party with Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One. We play some games. So we've been playing. We played Master Chief Collection for most of the day, and I tweeted out some stuff on our Twitter account. Yeah, it was pretty fun. We played a few game modes in, one of which is called Flood. And so, if you didn't know, the Flood are one of the enemy types in the Halo franchise, in the Halo games. They're kind of like those little alien creatures that you find in Half-Life, if you've ever played Half-Life, or
Okay.
yeah. So they're kind of like those little things that crawl around, and they're kind of like face huggers as well, but a little more active, and they fly around, whatever. So in this game mode, you start off, everybody except for one person is human, is a Spartan soldier. And then one person is this alien. And the alien is granted, the Flood is granted more speed, and you're able to jump higher, but you only have they call it's a sword, but it's really like, it's this appendage attached to your body. It's like a dagger. And so you can run around and you can kill people. And the soldiers, the Master Chief soldiers, are trying to stop, kill you and keep you dead. But if you kill a Master Chief Spartan, then you get to become a Flood. So the object is for all the Flood to kill all the Spartans in a certain amount of time, and then convert them all into Flood, and then you win the game. And it is super fun. It was some of the most fun I've had with Halo, and I played a lot of Halo. This was one of the best game modes, especially with playing with friends. It was a good time, definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So,
that reminds me of like playing Michael Myers type games.
Yeah.
Oh snap.
Yeah. It is. Did you ever play? I forget. Did you play Black Ops? Not Black Ops. Battlefront 2.
Yes.
Okay, so
Oh wait.
they had a mode.
The newest one?
Yeah, the newest one.
No, then I did not play the newest one.
Oh right, so not the original, but the one that EA did.
Okay, no.
They redid. Not redid. They released a game mode called Ewok Mission, and it is really fun. It is one of the best things about that game. I only played it a couple times, but what it is basically is everybody is stormtroopers and one person is an Ewok, and you're in the yeah. So you're in the jungle. You're on Endor, and it's pitch black out, and the Ewoks can see in the dark, but the stormtroopers can only see with like a flashlight in front of them. So you only see like a little bit of. And you have as an Ewok, you have attacks. Like you can, you have like a stick and a lightning attack and stuff. It's pretty wild stuff. And so each time you sneak up on a stormtrooper and kill them, they become an Ewok. Till eventually, it's only one stormtrooper and a million Ewoks going through the woods. It's kind of like a reverse battle royale type like zombie game. Yeah, it was something. So anyway, it reminded me of that. So I've been playing Master Chief Collection. I've been playing a little bit of Apex here and there. I've also been on the road, so I haven't been able to bring my consoles with me, but I do have my laptop that's able to play some games, including the game I'm playing right now. And, fun fact, you're on Xbox, I'm on a PC. This just happens to be one of the games that is cross-play with Xbox's Play Anywhere program, because it's a Microsoft Studios game. So I'm able to play PC and you play on Xbox, and we're still able to play together, which is pretty cool.
Okay, I was wondering how you were able to play while you were on your business trip. So,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Didn't know they had the capabilities.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think that this was gonna knock on wood. I'm gonna knock on wood right now. I didn't think this was gonna work this well. It's been pretty flawless, I'll say right now. Again,
Yeah.
knock on wood. So yeah, so I'm playing on my PC. So I've been playing Apex Legends on that a little bit here and there while I've been away. And last, and this is gonna be a strange one, but I've been playing this game called Big Farm. Have you ever heard of it?
Okay. No.
So Big Farm.
I'm thinking farming simulator. That's what I'm thinking in my head when you say that.
That is exactly what it is. It is a mobile farming simulator. So it's basically. Did you ever play Farmville?
Yes. Like when I
So
was like elementary school.
Yeah, it's Farmville. That's what it is. It's Farmville. So a friend of mine that I'm working with on this trip plays it on his phone, kind of just like in his spare time. So I downloaded it, and it is just one of those games that just gets addicting immediately, and you just can't put it down. So I've been farming while I've been away. So that's what I've been.
That's funny.
It is cool though. I mean, it is really well done. Like I said, they get you hooked right from the beginning. Yeah, finish.
Oh goodness, this game is brutal. I don't even know what I just did. I think I just ripped that guy's head off.
Oh, I really want a silencer for my gun. I haven't been able to get one.
No, so State of Decay 2 is a very enjoyable game.
Yeah.
I'm just like, there's so much stuff to do and explore. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I just realized that my character is tired. What?
Yeah,
I need to
know.
go sleep. I have like sleep symbols. I'm like, what? I have to go to bed. I was like, man, when games go and put that kind of detail into a game, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is a good game. So, but yeah, let's hop into news. So, let's go to what PAX East, the big thing that happened at PAX East last week. Borderlands 3. Are you a Borderlands fan at all?
I am a Borderlands fan. I played Borderlands 2. I don't believe I beat it, but when I first got my Xbox One, I bought it like 6 months after it originally released. I got, maybe it was a little longer than that. It may have been almost a year. I got the Master Chief Collection bundled in with it, and they also bundled in the Handsome Collection, which was the pre-sequel in Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I played a lot of Borderlands 2. Like I said, I don't believe I beat it, but I did play a bunch of it. And I really, really enjoyed it.
We've got something serious to discuss.
Yeah, so Borderlands is like one of my most favorite games
Oh, that's awesome.
of all time. And so I was ecstatic, just even hearing that they were doing something, some big release. So when I watched it live, and it was the announcement was probably one of the most cringe-worthy things. It just, there was so much. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, things were just going wrong.
So
And I think that too was bad.
I've only heard this, so I didn't see anything. So explain to me what happened during the stream, because I'd like to hear it. I haven't heard really anything about it.
Well, there was so there was a lot of technical difficulties that went on with it, which is part of it, and what the hell? This is weird. Oh, that's cool. You have to change characters. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Ooh, I got a medical bag.
Okay.
I got a medical rucksack.
Okay. So I'm still learning this game too, by the way. Whoa, you get different guns and stuff too? What?
Oh yeah.
This game is just getting better and better. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so there's some technical difficulties. They tried to play one of the games and it didn't load right. Like it buffered weird, and it was this is near the end too, so this is kind of not even the worst part. So this is leading up to all this, but yeah. So it was it was just kind of buffering. People in the crowd are like yelling, like, "Oh, you should use
VLC, right?
yeah, VLC and blah blah blah," and people are and it's like, okay, yeah, it's funny. But at first I was like, man, well, watching it live, like the stream, I didn't notice anything wrong. I was like, okay, whatever, it looks fine to me. But I guess they weren't happy with what happened. And so they're like, okay, well, leading up to this point even, they had technical difficulties at another point, which I missed because I stopped watching this, or 15 minutes to actually do work while I was at work instead of watching this. and so when I flipped back on, they were talking about some more technical issues, and I was like, oh, that's like sucks. But there was a like 10-minute magic trick that the CEO on stage. Like, what? It's like, geez, man. I was
So I heard about that. They got out a card trick or something.
So they announced. So yeah. So here, I started from the end. I should have started from the beginning, because so originally they come out and they're like, hey, we're here to announce something. It's a Borderlands game, and everyone's like, everyone goes crazy, and they're like, so it's a Borderlands game, cool. And then we've heard a lot of people say that it's a Borderlands Battle Royale game. You hear a lot of boo, and then he's like, it's not a Battle Royale game. It's like, everyone goes crazy. It's really funny. And then they just that's kind of where they left it. And it's like, okay, all right, okay, let's see where this goes. Well, then it continued. And they come out and they announce the card game, and you're like, oh, okay, is this supposed to be the Borderlands game? And you're like, I hope not. And then they talk about they talked about they kind of made a joke of a mobile game, but they were like, no, it's not that either, so don't worry. And then you're like, okay, like, what are these guys doing? And then they come back out like for the third or fourth time. Like they just keep going in and out, and then finally they're like, all right, so they revealed Borderlands 1 Game of the Year edition, where it's Borderlands 1 remastered for current gen games. So that's cool. I love Borderlands 1. Borderlands 1 is like a staple game of mine, and so I'm all for it. It actually got released today, I believe, or Wednesday.
That's cool.
It's like $30. So I'm like, that's affordable. The half off game that they know is old, but at the same time, it's
That's good.
they added everything they added in Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 1 to make it better, and so I'm like, I'm all for this. I'm digging this. And then you're like, okay, well, hopefully that's not the Borderlands game that they were claiming to be announcing today. And they go off stage again, and they're doing something else, and there's they're chit-chatting, whatever, and then they have more people coming out. And then they come back out again, and then they're like, oh yeah. And then they finally announce Borderlands 3, and you're like, okay, about time. And it was this awesome trailer. Time. Yeah, it was an awesome trailer, and I get it. It's Borderlands. It's supposed to be cringeworthy stuff like that. That's just the humor of the game.
Yeah.
But man, it was bad. It was an hour plus of filler stuff until you actually got to the game. That's like the actual trailer that they wanted to announce. I was like, oh my goodness. So that was a little brutal, but the game looks awesome. They actually released more information today. So the four Vault Hunters are Flak, Nose, Amara, and Zane. Where Flak, you actually get you're a beast trainer. So you actually get like this pet skag dog looking thing that follows you around. Nose, you basically think of Diva. That's what you summon. You summon a Diva that you can climb in.
Oh, cool.
And or teammates can climb in, so you don't. It doesn't have to necessarily just be you. Let's see, what was the other one? Amara, I didn't really understand it. She had a bunch of what's it called? Like she has a bunch of arms come out. So think like Zenyatta. That's what like me and my friends were all talking about. Oh, it's like Zenyatta. And then the last one is Zane, which is a you have like a drone that you can kind of, I guess, call on or control. So it's cool. You know, cool stuff. I was happy with everything that I saw and all the characters, the Vault Hunters. The best part that I love though is that there's multiple worlds. Like that's part of the thing. It's like, oh yeah, not just a single world. No, there's going to be multiple worlds.
Nice.
So you travel in the three that they showed, and they claimed that there's more. You saw a cityscape, a swamp, and a desert. So the desert's normal, normal Borderlands stuff. And pardon me, and that was pretty cool. So, then they also today, like I said, more stuff was announced, and the release date for that game is September 13th. And then it's going to. This I thought was interesting. It's going to be exclusive to the Epic Store, but only for the first 6 months, and then after that it'll go to Steam and other platforms.
Yeah, so that is interesting.
It's a little interesting one to do. I'm like, okay. So
it seems like the Epic Store is really like the have your game. It's like there's so many people going exclusive on Epic Store.
Yeah, and so I actually had a conversation with my coworker today, and he's a PC gamer, and I was like, what's your take on this, the Epic Store and everything, being a being a PC gamer? Like, do you really care? And he's like, oh yeah, I care a lot. And I'm like, okay, explain to me, because I don't get it. I don't get why PC people are saying the Epic Store is such a bad thing. And he's like, oh well, it has all this bad stuff. Like they're selling information and yada yada yada. And then I just don't believe in their parent company. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get Tencent is a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that owns a lot of different companies. And yeah, they're probably selling your data, but that's what companies do nowadays. We had a huge talk all day today about it, and ultimately, it kind of came down to it's PC people are not used to having to compete with each other on like which, even though it's not a system, like you can buy pieces to your PC, but now you can choose. Do you want to have what's it called? Do you want to have use the Epic Store, or do you want to use the Steam engine? And that's this new console, quote unquote console war that these guys are having. And I'm like, you're really worried about that? And he's like, yeah. He goes, it's just I don't like it. I'm like, oh, that's silly. I've been doing that ever since I chose to play Xbox. Like that's life, man. So. But yeah, so yeah, I thought that was all interesting. I'm really hyped for Borderlands 3. I was texting a buddy of mine throughout the whole thing, and I've been texting him ever since, just as we learn more and more about the game. And we're like, oh yeah, definitely buying this game, like easy. So yeah, I'm a huge. Like I said, Borderlands 1 was my it was one of my favorite games of all time. It's probably one of my top games of all time. So I'm very biased when it comes to this game.
Nice. I'm excited for it. I'm actually going to get back to the Handsome Collection before it comes out, and I have plenty of time. I'm going to play before that because I really want to experience it fully and beat it and all that before 3 comes out. So I will definitely.
I really enjoyed the Handsome Collection. So.
Oh man, I'm getting beat on.
Oh goodness, man, there's a horde behind you.
Yep, I am getting out of here.
Oh snap, man! I have not seen that before. So
they're coming after me. I had a screamer get me.
Oh snap!
I have no ammo. Damn. Right.
Got 4 bullets.
Come at me. Oh no.
Yeah, so the next thing we got on here was the next mini console is been announced. So the Sega Mini.
Yes.
So first off, what's your thoughts on all these like mini consoles, like the PlayStation Classic? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So when the first mini console, let's call it the first mini console because it was the first one to really make this craze catch fire, was the NES Classic. The NES Classic really caught my attention, not because of it as a thing, but I was like, this is such a Nintendo thing to release this console with, I believe it's 30 games on the original, the NES Classic. To release this because to release this with all their old games on it, to like make money off of something that they've already sold you 100 times. Like most of those games I had rebought on the Wii when the Virtual Console was out. And now they're here again, and they're in this cool little form factor with the original controllers, like the original size controllers. That's really cool. And then I was like, oh my god, a Super Nintendo one is definitely coming. Like that is, and then eventually the Super Nintendo came out, 21 games on it. Very excited for that as well. They're just like they're a very cool novelty, and Nintendo was able to do it really good because a lot of the games that people love from Nintendo are in fact Nintendo titles. So they're able to put them on the box. In instances like with the Commodore 64 Mini, you have the same type of deal. A lot of those games are, I was reading about it, and wasn't a big Commodore guy back in the day. I never had one, but I know that the people liked the game list that was on there. The PlayStation, what did they call it? The PlayStation Classic or the Flashback?
Yeah, the PlayStation Classic. The PlayStation Classic, I believe.
For $100, 2 controllers and only 20 games, and they really weren't the best games that were on the original PlayStation, like not even close. No. That was tough. And now, like, I go to Best Buy and I see them on sale for $39 or something like that. Originally $100, and it's like less than a year it's been out. So not great for them. But this Sega Genesis one, this / Master Drive, wherever you are, and you're talking about the Sega console, the 16-bit Sega console. I think they have a chance. So they announced 10 so far out of the that's going to be on there. 40 is the most that I know of from any of these mini consoles to have on there, which I think is pretty cool.
That's a lot.
You have, so far they announced 10. It bothers me that they only announced 10 so far. Why wouldn't you just announce the full 40? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what their reasoning is for that. You have Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, you have Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Mean Mate, actually, and I never heard of. Earl, great game. Dog Classic, Beast, another classic, and Gunstar Heroes, which was actually one of my favorites. Not when I originally had my Genesis, but after the fact. I found that game at a yard sale, and I played a little bit of it, and I really enjoyed that game, Gunstar Heroes. It's priced at $79 with 2 controllers. I'm fine with 40 games. I think I just think it gets to a point where there's some fatigue, and unless a company really just like nails it, like how Nintendo's been doing it, it's gonna be a hard sell. But I think Sega has enough built-in fans where this is gonna resonate with them, like how someone who was very fond of early Nintendo consoles, the classics resonated with them. So I think they have something here for sure.
Yeah, and I never played really the Sega. I never played Super Nintendo. At that point when the Super Nintendo was really big, I was too young still to really play games. My dad had one. I do remember. I remember playing it with my dad, and it was like some Super Mario Brothers game. But when the PlayStation Classic came out, I was like, cool. That was like one of my very first consoles that I had a few games on, and I really enjoyed it. But then I looked at all of it, and I was like, these games just aren't what I want. I don't want this out of it. And then, even then, after you look at it, the PlayStation Classic is now $40. I think you can go buy it for $40. I'm like, geez, man,
yeah.
that's pretty rough.
to jump. The games were just the wrong games to put on it. That's just what happened. That's just what it was. It wasn't the classic games. You didn't have Spyro on there. You didn't have Crash, which I understand you released the remastered version of those games recently. But still, if you're going to have a mini console, it's not about what games you released on other consoles right now. Like, sure, you know, the Crash remastered and the Spyro remastered sold really well, and a lot of people are enjoying them because it's this. But someone who is buying this PlayStation Mini Classic is not necessarily those same people. This could be someone who like kind of fell off of gaming, but can remember fond memories of their PlayStation, and it was like, oh, I want to go back and play some of those games. This would be a really cool thing to buy. Here, I'll buy it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to buy a new PS4 and get the Spyro remastered, but they would love to go grab this thing, plug it into their modern TV, and play the old Spyro games, the actual old Spyro games on, you know, just for fun. Like, that would be for them. So they kind of missed the mark on that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think too another point to make is, this is personal. But you go and you play a game that, you know, when you first play it, like even Borderlands 1 for me, going back to that, I love that game. But now going back and like playing the original Borderlands 1, it's tough. It's really, really tough. But this like remastered one, okay, I can see it's going to be slightly different. They're going to add a few things here and there. But like even these games aren't remastered. They're just kind of, you know, ports. That's all they are. So
yeah,
I'm like, is there that fatigue that people are, or the internal hype that people have for this stuff, and then when the game comes out and they like replay it like one of these old classic games, and they're like, oh, that sucked, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I've only played my Nintendo mini cons. I have both of the NES and the SNES. I've only really played them a handful of times. There's a really cool novelty. And honestly, if I ever wanted to play one of those games that are on it, I'm not going to take out my original hardware, which is like packed away somewhere. I'm just going to plug those in. So it is the way. It's another interesting point about this. I mean, I guess those mini consoles are really the best way to play those old games. Even though you're playing emulated games, you're not playing on original hardware. It's really is the best way to play those games outside of going to buy one of those. Have you seen the company? I believe it's called Analog. Have you heard of Analog?
I haven't heard the company, but I might know where you're going with this because of it being a mini console type of the conversation.
Yes. So Analog has been making, and I hope that's their. Please, someone tell me on Twitter that I'm wrong if I am. Analog makes these consoles. They made the Analog NES, which I don't know if that's the name of it, but it's basically a remake of the NES with an original, not an original board, but a remade board. So when you plug in an old NES game to this console, you're actually playing off of hardware. You're not playing an emulated game. You're actually playing off the original console, off the original cartridge. And they also made, and they're just like really nice and cool designs, and they have HDMI out that is native to your modern TV. They also made a Super Nintendo with a bunch of different options, like a clear one, an all black one. They're really cool, and they just released a Genesis one, or it's coming out soon. It's for pre-order. They're expensive consoles. They're like, but if you're kind of like one of those people that really needs to play the original, like you really like it. It's important to you to play on the original hardware with the original cartridge. This is the best way to play modern, old, retro games. So that's cool. But like, if you're not one of those people that want to drop a couple $100 on one of these consoles, and also you don't have these old cartridge games, because with game collecting, they're super expensive now. You can't just go out and buy a game. I can't just go out tomorrow, and even though I love Chrono Trigger, I can't just go out tomorrow and rebuy Chrono Trigger. That game goes for like over $100. Like, I'm not gonna, for an old SNES cartridge. So that's kind of a tough sell. So you get one of these mini consoles, and while Chrono Trigger unfortunately is not one of the games on SNES Classic, you can play other great games, and this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And you know, I didn't know about that. That's not where I thought you were going. Where I thought it was the like what's it called? Like pack games that the people have made now. You know, it's like the old joystick, and you just plug it in. It's just a RCA cables that you just plug into like an old TV. That's what I kind of thought you were going.
Yeah.
But that sounds a lot cooler. This whole analog company, if that's the right one, that's a really cool concept because that's something like that. That would be the way to do it. Like you said, you know, you're getting the fan.
It's you get like the full with those. You get the full experience of the original consoles. Plugging in the game. Maybe occasionally you have to blow out the cartridge like old times.
Like old times.
Those are
which is funny because it always tells you not to do that. But that was the only way to get.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. The what's funny about what you just brought up, those like plug and play arcade, plug and play games with like, the joystick, and they have a bunch of like generic games bundled into it. I can remember maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, whatever's near you, those kind of drugstore convenience stores, they had a Sega released a mini console that had a bunch of preloaded Sega games on it, but it wasn't stylized like an original Genesis. It was just like a very generic looking black box. But what was also interesting about it is that it also had a cartridge slot on the top. You could plug in a Genesis game and play Genesis games or play one of the preloaded games on it. That I thought that was pretty cool. Not that I thought it was cool, but like I thought it was interesting that like nobody really like fought over that or pre-ordered that ahead of time. That was just something like, oh, I'm in CVS. Oh, look, this is cool. I'll buy this. But now it's like this huge thing where they're selling out. You pre-order these things, and I don't know. But that I can remember that was a thing back in the day, 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that, but.
So I guess the bottom line: Are you going to these? Were you a Sega kid?
No, I wasn't. That's the thing too. I was not. I didn't play anything but play I played the Super Nintendo, and then I got a N64, and that was really it. Ow, what the heck's going on? So confused.
I'm trying to blow up this play card.
Okay. But yeah, then I had N64. I never played the Sega, anything like those games.
Yeah, and I think it's important for I think it's important for the success of these classic consoles is to grab onto the nostalgia. So if you're not a Sega kid, if you weren't a Sega kid growing up, this is really not going to resonate with you. I personally, I had a Genesis, but I never really, this is going to sound weird, I never really identified as a Sega person. I was always Nintendo first. Like, that was always my go-to. I always played a Super Nintendo first. If I had the option, I wanted to play games on Super Nintendo. I actually think that I had trying to remember. I had the Super Nintendo at our house, but when me and my brother used to go over and stay at my grandma's, we used to have our Sega Genesis there, so that was kind of like the second console over there. Like, so it was like when we weren't playing our Super Nintendo, we played Sega Genesis at my grandma's house. Right, if I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, so some of those games do get it for me. I'm not sure if I will pre-order this yet. I have to see what the other games are going to be. If there's some other games that I did enjoy as a Sega Genesis as a kid, maybe I would. Only because I think that when you have these classic consoles and you're thinking about streaming games, which I do time to time, they're a really easy way to stream retro games. You plug the HDMI output into your capture card or whatever you're using, and it's a really easy way to stream those old games. So if you want to be a retro streamer, these classic consoles are the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and although I have to say, the Castlevania Bloodlines, seeing that game, that title on this list, like, because I've heard the term now that I'm actually listening more and more to, gaming industry stuff, and there's so many references back to Castlevania. I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to play that game, even though I know it's old. I'm like, I kind of want to play that game. So
That
if I got it,
genre
that would be
is
the
really
only.
hot right now in indie games. Like that
Yes.
type of that genre is very hot in indie games right now. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's kind of my take on that. All that. Okay, so you put this on there, and I'm
Yes.
on the list, and this one is the Beat AJ Styles at WWE 2K19, and you win $1 million.
Yes.
What?
so WWE is hosting a tournament, and they've already started the tournament. The finals are this Friday in New York. They are for WWE game WWE 2K19, and so they're going to host a tournament. And these players that are coming from around the country and I think around the world as well, they're going to be duking it out in 2K19 for a shot at facing AJ Styles, which is he's a WWE superstar, one of the top guys. And if you beat him, you win $1 million. Now, let's be real. If you win the chance to play AJ Styles, you probably already have that $1 million in the bag. I don't think AJ Styles is a hardcore WWE player. I think it's just kind of like the novelty of being able to play a WWE superstar. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's not going to beat you if you make it to the finals. I think it's just kind of like whoever wins and beats AJ Styles, but that's kind of a given. It's a formality. You know what I mean? So
I can see that. Okay.
Kind of cool. I just thought that was a fun thing. And one of the reasons why I brought it up is because I am going to WrestleMania next weekend. So, and that's in New York. So I won't be there for the tournament, but I will probably, the person who wins, I think, also gets a ticket to WrestleMania. So that will probably be put on the big screen at some point, and they'll probably show highlights of the match. So I will report back next week and let you know how he did against AJ Styles, whoever makes it to the finals.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That'll be fun. I've always been interested in like in high school. I used to watch WWE Raw a lot. Monday Night Raw. I'd watch it all the time. I haven't watched it a lot anytime recently, so I don't know anything new going on. But it's one of those things that I've always I ever since I was a kid I've liked, and I just kind of stuck with it. I'm not super involved in the week to week happenings, but I am still super excited to WrestleMania and all these type of things are my I love going to live events. Even to this day, it's a lot of fun, and they do come to my area pretty often. New York is pretty close. It's only a 4.5 hour drive. Not too bad.
Yeah, and Boston is only an hour away, and they do pay-per-views there all the time, and they do a lot of live shows in Providence. So I do enjoy doing that.
Cool.
I will be there, and like I said, I'll report back next week. The last thing we have here on news. Oh, is there no? What were you gonna say?
No, go for it. Go. I was getting ready to segue.
Yeah. So the last thing we have on news is something I just added before we come on, and I thought this was really funny. At PAX East, there was a panel that Todd Phillips was on, and sorry, not Todd Phillips. Todd Howard of Bethesda.
Okay.
And he was talking about how he's been getting feedback for Fallout 76. And one of the things he got in the mail, and what he said was the most creative, was he got a bunch of bobby pins and a note that says, "Weigh these," period. And what that is in reference to is the issue with Fallout 76 when it first launched. One of the issues among the many was this problem with the inventory system. Fallout is notorious, and a lot of other RPGs like it. You have a system where it's weighted. So if you have a certain amount of weight, you're over encumbered and you can't run, and you can't move as quick. Right. So I guess bobby pins were taking up way too much space and too much weight in your inventory, and it seemed off, it wasn't balanced correctly. And they eventually fixed it, but it was far too late. They should have fixed it right away. And so this person who sent him the bobby
Oh
pins
my
was
goodness.
very angry that the bobby pins weighed so much. He sent him a bunch of bobby pins and told Todd Howard to weigh them, which I think is really like a really clever way to kind of get your point across, right? And you don't need to send hate mail, you don't need to send death threats. Just send something that's really to the point. It's like here's why I'm telling you should do it.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and so we've talked about how like E3 is it's a big show for Bethesda right now because they don't really have the best goodwill towards them after Fallout 76. Yeah, so it's as much as Fallout 76 right now I think is a very playable game and I eventually probably will go back to it. It has that bad stigma right away. It's the issues that EA's been having with a lot of their games, including Anthem now.
Yeah.
But Todd Howard needs to come out at E3, and like we were saying before, he needs to just own it. He needs to come out and he needs to be like, we hear you. Like, here's the problems with the game. Here's what we're doing to fix it. Here's some new stuff. They just need to get it and own it. So it's big. And this right here, him telling this really funny anecdote at PAX East is a step towards that, and I think that's what's going to end up happening. I think it's going to be they're going to take ownership for their mistakes, and they're going to tell everybody how they're going to fix it.
Yep.
So
I think
it's a good
he's
funny
not
story.
hiding it anymore. He's at least at least acknowledged the fact that he's made they know, like, yes, we kind of screwed up, we get it, and we're going to laugh about it a little bit, and we're going to fix it.
Yes.
So, that's
Yep,
good.
you're
Good
right.
to hear.
Yep,
Good to hear.
absolutely right.
So,
So I thought it was kind of a cool little, a sign of what's to come. That's how I saw it as.
yeah, no, I'd agree.
So, good for him. Good for Todd Howard. I always liked him. I love Bethesda, obviously. So good on all them. Yeah. So you want to talk about some esports?
Yeah, well,
Wrap this up?
yeah. So I'll kind of start just because there's not a lot going on in the CWL. Right now, they're doing cross division game plays, and so people from Division A are playing people from Division B. But it's nothing too exciting is going on right now. The big thing though, which is interesting, is that there's another issue with a coach not paying, or not a coach, an organization not paying its players. And I'm like, this is like the third instance. My goodness, you would think that something of like Activision would come in and be like, hey, you got to fix this problem. Granted, they're franchising next year, and I think that's going to fix a lot of the problems. But at the same time, like, there's some other problems you got to be fixing other than just that right now. Like, there's something obviously wrong. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for these people because that's their jobs and they're not getting paid. So
That's tough.
yeah, that's really all that's going on there.
Overwatch League has been kind of also this past week has been like super exciting. The first stage playoffs are done. We talked about that last week, and they're getting ready for stage 2, which starts on Thursday. The Boston Uprising will be facing the Atlanta Reign. But there was a development this week that you actually brought to my attention that I missed, in which is there was a trade between the Boston Uprising and the Dallas Fuel. It was for Rick and Note. Note is the Boston Uprising tank player, and Rick is aka Richard Canavera, I think is his last name. He is a tank player for Dallas Fuel, which is strange. So it's a tank for a tank. They're both they both play with Diva and Zarya, which is they're both tank players. It's interesting because Note has been on the team since the beginning of the inaugural season and has been kind of like the backbone. He's a starter. He starts every match. He doesn't get pulled unless they need to change formula. So it's odd that they traded him for someone who does the same thing, but seemingly, and this is just me, because seemingly not as well. I would say Rick. I don't know him that well, but I know that he's not a full-fledged starter on the fuel, and he wasn't with them last year. So I don't know, and then maybe they just find his play style more fitting in Boston, or maybe there was some behind-the-scenes stuff where Note. I don't know where Note is originally from, but maybe he feels like wherever they train or whatever is a better fit for him. It could be a number of things, because a trade for a tank guy for a tank guy of two very accomplished players is weird. It's strange. It just kind of comes off as strange. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting. I do like. That's the one thing I think I probably say this every single time, but the one thing I do like about the OWL, the Overwatch League, is the fact that you actually have these real organizations, and there's this trade, and it's more of an actual sport. I really enjoy that. That is one of my favorite parts about Overwatch League and I've told you this before, having a sub in the middle of a match, that's just unheard of for me, because it's not what I see in when I watch my esports. So I really like that.
Yeah, it's cool. And it also could be maybe for next year they're gonna have home games, maybe just gearing up for that. They're trying to find homes for these players who are going to want to live and work in certain areas. It could be, I'm just speculating. This is purely speculation. Who knows? It could be something to do with that. But I'm curious to see. I looked up some articles, and there wasn't really any definitive, answers. So I'm curious to see going forward what they say about it, and honestly how the Boston Uprising and the Dallas Fuel perform with these new players on their teams. So
okay,
that's where I'm at with that.
Very cool. So got anything? Any last words, comments before we hit the ground running and really get into this game, other than just kind of exploring like we have been?
Yeah. I know. I just I'm really excited to get back to playing games. I know with my hand I've been kind of limited the last few weeks, the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm just really excited to get back. By next week I plan on hopefully finishing Wolfenstein, because I am traveling again this weekend, and I will be away in Toronto next week for a show. But I hope to finish Wolfenstein 2 soon.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to get into more Persona 4 Golden. I didn't play any of that this week. That's why I wasn't on my playing now. I just didn't have time to play it, and I didn't really bring my Vita with me. So yeah, that's it. I'm just excited to get back to playing games. Excited to record more episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, and I for those not audio listeners who actually no one's watching, it doesn't really matter. Never mind. Basically, life happens, and I'm just really happy that you were able to accommodate my life happening. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, absolutely.
So this little shorter episode than normal, but hey. Still thought we did really well, and we'll just kind of do the normal sign off of when we play games, we talk games. You can find us on Twitter at When Gaming. You can find myself at Silosword. You can find Matt at Hot Blooded. No, sorry, that's your gamer tag. You can find Matt at Matt from Rhode Island, because it's just such a part of his identity in coffee milk, which I still just don't get it.
I try it.
I do. I have to try it because I love coffee. And then you can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/whengaming. So hopefully some guys will get some people to play with us. I think this would be a great game. I think we're gonna come back to this game down the road. And so I hope to hear from everybody. Give us some comments, concerns, and catch you later.
Later.